Lounge together two hosts that were willing to be sucked into this on our own. First, you know him, or you might know him, as he's been on the podcast before. Double Sniffed. You know, it's an audio podcast, so waving.
Oh, hey.
Don't use your big boy words.
Yeah.
I was just double checking the stream to make sure we were actually operational.
Make sure your camera was picking up hand movement.
Yeah, can you move your mouse cursor, because it looks like it's trying to snag a booger out of my nostril.
Oh yeah, it totally is. There it is. Why don't you just wave it away with your hand?
Try to eat it.
Anyway, all right. So also on the podcast, you may know him as Hashashin. Hash, what's up, man?
Feeling good. It's good to be a big bird.
You big boy, you big old bird. So he got his first podcast review like long time ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago or so.
Yeah, like your first review was that everything was great except that Hashashin sounded like a rapey big bird.
No, I think it started with unlistenable.
Oh right,
God
damn!
Could not get 5 minutes into the episode
because of a rapey big bird. So, because of that, Hashashin got his own room in the Discord called Big Bird's Love Nest. You may recognize it. That's the inside joke there. So,
fun fact about that room: you can't go in yourself. He has to move you in without your consent.
You have to be drug in.
No,
you're not allowed to go on your own volition.
I don't approve any of this.
Actually, I should just lock that room for that purpose now.
Jesus Christ!
Now we're doing this.
Good Lord!
I've
already dug a very deep hole, and we're maybe 2 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. This is the Lola breaking in period.
Yeah, well, I'm being broken for sure.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about end of season shit. But before that, I want to share with the community. Somebody had brought up to me in episode 250, like, oh yeah, you should do your Kevin Spacey thing, your Kevin Spacey joke. And I was like, Kevin Spacey joke? What the fuck did I say about Kevin Spacey? It's like, I remember there being a shtick on it, but I didn't really remember what it was.
Like 6 months ago? Maybe?
Yeah, it was like a long time ago. And I was like, God
back
damn,
when you were Diamond.
Yeah, longer than that.
Yikes.
So, anyway, we'll get there, by the way. We'll get there. So, anyway, we went back, and I was like, God damn, I can't find this joke. I don't remember, but I remember I was really amused with it. And I was like, that was one of my better ones, right? So, I wanted to find it. And then the other day, I was digging through Reddit on my phone, and I actually, misclicked on the phone, and it popped up my old, posts. And I clipped it. And I posted it to Reddit. And then I remembered this was from that fucking coaching session that I tried to clip to Reddit and got banned from Reddit for 14 days because I bandwagoned 3 people because I posted it in the general chat. And people were like, oh, there's your upvote. And then it's like, oh no.
Was it 3 people voted too quickly, or they tied it all into you? They CSI boarded you
because when you clicked it, you arrived at that link from the same source.
Okay, got it.
Is what it was.
So
that's what got me a 14-day ban for bandwagoning.
Illegal bandwagoning. Got it.
I was like, somebody asked me what I was giggling about, and I linked it in the Discord, and then I got I got banned for however many days for a vote manipulation or whatever, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Anyway, so this was the joke. I was talking to somebody about their auto attack spacing and that they needed to stay in max range but move forward and move out between autos, so that way you can hit them and then you back off real quick and then you go back in to hit them and you can abuse your auto attack cooldown to basically hit somebody for free if you're really good at this thing called spacing. And then on the fly, I was like, we like to do something I call Kevin spacing, where if they get into you anywhere near you, they're going to have a really bad day. And then I giggled, and then they figured it out that
controlled me.
Yeah. They figured it out, and then I was like, yeah, that joke's built on a house of cards. Double down! And anyway, the long and the short of it is, I found it. It's on I linked it in general chat, so please, if you'd like to see that, go check it out. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good time. All right. Other than that, we're going to talk about end of season shit. Basically, how the climb's going with each of you guys and me. And, like, if you have any self-diagnosed problems, I know I do. Like, what steps you're taking to get over those things, right? And then we will round it out with a couple other things that I talked about before the show but cannot remember right now. You guys good?
Great.
Groovy.
Love it.
All right. So, as you guys may know, I'm trying to hit a hard push to try to make it back into Diamond. And so far, I've gone the opposite direction. So I went to, I was at the bottom of Plat 2. I went up to 50 LP. And then I lost several games in a row. And that sucks because of the games I lost, 4 of those games, I lost something I don't know, 6 out of 8 games or something. But 4 of those games were absolutely unwinnable. And the reason they were unwinnable is I had 2 games in which my jungler ganked at level 3 somebody else on the map. They just ganked. The gank failed, the jungler died, and then the jungler rage quit.
Cool.
Jungle 101. They cover that in the LOL Society videos. It's one of the few jungling tips that's not been outdated.
If you fall behind, immediately go to the next
you fuck
game.
up,
You're just wasting everybody's time.
Rage it up.
Oh.
You cannot win the game if you are not present in the game.
Yeah, and he says it with that Kiwi accent, so it really sounds a lot wholesome and shit. So you're like, oh, it's you should just go ahead and quit the game because there's no way that you will ever create a positive impact on your team. You should end your life. This is what I tell you. And it's just oh, okay.
Just go swallow a handful of spiders.
I heard that advice, and that's why I switched to power farming junglers. I was I just can't gank.
It does sound very soothing.
It's very soothing.
I should go do that.
That's
what I should be doing with my
in
life right
basement right now.
We call it the retaliation suicide.
It's so easy.
Oh,
it's so easy. A Bronzy could do it.
It's carbon monoxide stance. You take a hose, you attach it to the exhaust of your vehicle, and then feed that hose into the passenger area of your own vehicle.
So anyway, it's diamond level tactics. We don't want to get into that today. So anyway, that happened. I had a game where I literally had a guy int, and I mean it wasn't he's inting, boo-hoo, he made a bad play or he died a few times. Nope.
No, it's I'm cosplaying
this guy's I died. Woo! Oh, he died again. Woo! And you just it's like watching lemmings jump off a fucking cliff. You're oh, there goes the next one. Oh, there's more. Why are they not figuring this out?
There are so many more.
My favorite enter was a guy who took unsealed spellbook and switched to ghost so that he could int faster.
Right.
So down the way.
I had a guy that didn't do that, but managed to die 5 times in 5 minutes, 8 times in 12 minutes, and 14 times by the end of the very short game. I mean, it's that's the kind of thing that you're just dying for fun at that point. You're not trying.
And so is this has Plat always been like that?
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season?
No, I mean it's just like that. That's just Plat.
Just full stop.
I think this describes almost every elo you've got going on.
I don't think it describes gold. I mean, for the most part, gold is people are generally fairly chill.
When's the last time you were trying to climb out of gold at the end of the season?
Well, not at the end of this. I mean, the whole game sucks at the end of the season.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm putting all this behavior...
Round.
Oh, this is Plat year-round. Okay, I haven't had that.
This is Plat year-round, bro. It doesn't get a whole lot. So last season, when I climbed to Diamond and I was climbing out of Plat, I had a lot of this go down, and it was mid-July.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, Plat's just terrible. Because like the problem with Platt.
Wait, hold on a second. That's one of the other problem points of League, though, right?
What do you mean?
Anytime there's the beginning of an extended school break, when all the angry, angsty tweens are staying up till midnight playing in Platt, it's a nightmare, right?
I mean, that's probably true.
That's right when school lets out for a lot of school systems.
I mean, but that's the thing, though. I don't think like even tweens are necessarily terrible at like, whatever, like mental states or whatnot. You know, like I met Ponderous when he was like a tween plus or whatever.
I thought you've known him for years.
Yeah, that's how long it's been.
Or a teen.
He's barely out of his. He's barely out of his like phase of that. So, anyway, that being said, he wasn't even when I met him back then, and he was way younger. It was like he was mentally resilient. He'd just get pissed, and then like go on a tilt spree from. Like it's different, right? It wasn't like a.
I'm trying to figure out how that's the opposite of going boom.
No. It's like this. He would hard carry the game. He would get pissed for like 3-4 kills.
Okay.
And then he would try too hard. And then he would get into like an insurmountable death wheel if his try-harding part failed. That being said.
Okay.
And so, I mean, that's different than like,
so
I fucking quit. The first bad thing that happened to me,
he wasn't kabooming. He would tilt, and then he would go downhill.
Right.
And sometimes he would save himself.
Basically, like, his curve was like this, but it was still present. Like, it was a gently sloping hill, and then it kind of dropped off.
It wasn't just, have a nice evening, Blake, right. I am leaving now.
Right. This would be like a straight-up cliff that goes straight down. And like the XY axis would be like game start, first bad thing to happen. Boom! And then like there's spikes and shit in the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's like the end of a Mortal Kombat fight.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's what I'm talking about. So Ponderous wasn't like I instantly go straight up catatonic feed mode, AFK rage quit horseshit, right? And I mean Platt is a lot of that.
Okay.
And like there are a lot of egos that think that they deserve gold or deserve diamond, right? So it's probably most comparable to silver. Like you have a high-end gold dangling above your head, and it's something that you want and something that you feel you deserve, but yet,
yeah.
And so like when something goes wrong, there's a lot of like blame to throw around, and these guys understand the game well enough.
What's missing? Because like I could tell you what the things are in general that are missing in silver or whatever, but like for the guys that are like, I'm totally a diamond player pushing masters, and everyone else is looking at them like,
yeah. So it would be okay.
Like,
so
what's not there?
So I've talked a lot about like the Platt glass ceiling, right?
Okay.
Which is like the concept that there needs to be a significant mental breakthrough to get out of Platt, right? Or like, and there are some people that are skilled enough at one thing to push that glass ceiling into diamond and then get stuck there hard. Like you just can't progress. And mostly what that is it's never really mechanics and it's never really like macro play, though that does actually like have a place in this discussion, right?
This is not flame, but do you think you're there? Would you describe yourself as being in that position?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like your mechanical skill, your mental, your understanding of the game push the glass ceiling up into diamond, and then it just...
No, that's not me. Because what the glass ceiling is none of those things. It's commitment to fights and understanding the concept of like all in. That is lacking in Platt.
Well, you're pretty good at that, though.
Yeah, no, that's like my thing.
Yeah, that's your thing.
So the glass ceiling doesn't really exist for me as much as, like, that sounds super cocky, but that's not what I'm meaning. Like that is
For those that
usually-
couldn't hear it, both my eyebrows just shot into my ceiling.
It actually made that kind of whistling noise. So anyway, no, what I mean is that like that concept is super hard for people to grasp because they have a whole lot of like built up. Well, I don't go this far because if I go that far, then I'll die, right? And sometimes
Okay, yeah.
that would be good because like if you pile on to a fight and instead of it being a 0 for 3 it's now a 3 for 4, then you've done great. And yeah, you died, you added one more death to the tally, but
Right,
you
but
took
now
like 3 kills for
Two
it.
people are alive, you get an objective, whatever.
Right. Or like
Oh, here, put it this way. Okay, I remember when you were coaching, like a long time ago, you were coaching with me, you're like, look at a player, a single player, you need to look at their life bar, and you need to go, I have, let's say 50% of their life bar stacked up because of all my abilities that are available, cooldowns, whatever. So what you're saying is that a diamond player, a person that belongs in diamond, looks at an entire team on the map in a certain position and knows what those percentages are for his team, or their team.
Yep.
Is that like a big dividing line? Like they're very confident about like our squad in this position on the map. It has like 95% of their life bar already accounted for with all our abilities if they land.
So here's one. In the last game I played, and yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. In the last game I played, I was playing Blitz, and I was up against a Cassiopeia that was tearing the shit out of my team. Like, really good Cassiopeia player. And I knew that if I hooked Cassiopeia, uppercutted her, and did my zap, like my ult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I ignite, that if I pull her in front of Twitch, if I do all those things, she's not going to be able to scary face us and wipe out Twitch, and she's not going to be able to get away or use her shield because I have her silenced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we have enough damage to just straight up murk her, and then we win the team fight. Right?
Okay.
But we have to full commit to it and then immediately retreat back under the turret. Because there's like a lot of shit going around, and I kind of ripped her out of a ring and put her right here. Like, so imagine like a semicircle, and she's like at the top of the semicircle, and I pulled her into like the center point of the circle for us to kill her. Right?
Okay.
So
Like a fermata.
right. So what?
It's a musical thing. Look
Sure.
it up.
Yeah. Then just like that. So.
I haven't said anything in 5 minutes. My contract says I'm allowed to talk once
Right,
every 5
that's
minutes.
very good. So, if we pull her and she gets anything off,
Like a
then-
coda. Sorry. I had to throw another obscure.
No, you're great. It's like a staccato of bullshit.
Yeah, paradiddle that
Yeah,
out.
you got it. You're
There you go.
I can join. We can do this. So, anyway, ripped her out. If she got
Yeah.
anything off on us, anything at all, then she will probably escape, and we will probably lose that team fight.
Mhm.
But if Twitch hard commits, even when everybody's moving forward and finishes her,
Finish her.
we win. We win the whole team fight. And maybe the game, probably not the game, but it would be pretty close.
A step in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I mean, it would be pretty close. So I pull her, I uppercut her before she gets her scary face off.
Okay.
I zap her the second she hits the ground, and I ignite. And then I turn around, so I won't get scary faced, because I
Mhm.
see Twitch has backed off.
Kind of just,
He shot like 4 shots,
and I'm
his
out.
ult, and then he's like, "Oh, they're coming. I better back off." And I'm like, "Oh no, you just got me killed for sure." She limped away with my ignite on her, with like 100 hit points.
Poison's ticking, and he's expunged it, and it's not
good
going
enough.
anywhere.
It's not gonna.
Yep.
It's not gonna get it. And I'm like, well, okay, we just lost. And then because I got slowed from the scary face, and because whatever, like another person on my team tried to dogpile her to finish, right? Because Twitch didn't. We ended
And
up
that was just a mess.
we ended up losing 3 on it and died.
Hmm.
And I mean that's the kind of stuff that like a diamond player knows. If that person dies here, then I'm safe. If they don't die, then a lot of people die. Right?
Got it.
It's
Got it.
like the ability to understand the game on a level that you go, this is not how this 1v1 plays out. This is how this 3v3 plays out. Or this is
Hmm.
how this 5v5 plays out. Or if I grab them here, I can do this. Or like the implicit understanding, like, and this is higher diamond, right? Would be like, okay, in that same game, we're playing against their bot lane. We're beating them. We are the
Uh-huh.
target. I know we're the target. All of a sudden, Hecarim appears from nowhere, from behind Gromp, and just rams us under the tower, pushing us forward. I
Mhm.
hook Hecarim in. By the time I get Hecarim back in, my ADC's getting pummeled. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of minions appear as if from, like, or not minions, something else appears. No, it was minions, because it was Ryze. And Ryze brought the minion wave
Oh,
under the
okay.
turret with
Right.
his ult, right?
Okay.
I just thought for some reason he came from River, but I think he had to come from the lane to do that. But he dumped a whole bunch of minions on us, and I'm like, oh shit. We couldn't finish off anybody. We got 4-man dove, towers busted, poof. Those kind of dive plays where like somebody has to risk themselves on execution
Assuming that 3 other people are going to be
are going to
working
be
in
like, oh,
concert.
that guy's going, let's go, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like at the lowest part of diamond, people start to figure out, okay, let's go. Like you're in, I'm in, right?
Hmm.
At plat, it's like you're in. I think that's dumb. I'm out. You're dead.
Okay, so it's like ego and KDA above all else.
Yeah, yeah. I want to feel like I did good before I feel like
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get in on things. And I've said like in the past that killer instinct is a lot of the separator there because like the plat player wants to live, the diamond player wants to kill.
Okay.
And it's a weird kind of separation of those things. Not to say that the diamond player is just going to go in and die. I mean, sometimes they do, right?
But they're much more accurately aware of how far they can push the envelope.
Right. You see fights in diamond end with people at like no health. You
Hmm.
see fights in plat end with people at full health.
Got it.
So that's been something that's been really hard for me to like do this season because it's like,
So you got turbo fucked at the beginning with the way those Thresh games went, and then you had
oh
to
yeah,
play down, except you wanted to make the right play in a vacuum, but the right play for Plat was
is
just
not
doesn't line up
doesn't work.
with what you wanted to do.
No.
Okay.
So I mean, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, fuck, dude, I started off this season in Plat 4 because I got triple relegated. I had a horrible placement series the first time I went through. I went like 1-7, and then I did the same thing. They reset for flex or dynamic queue dying. You know,
Right.
that
Yeah.
horseshit.
I remember that whole
And so they're like,
disaster.
everybody who's diamond, you get to do your placements again. And I'm like, well, I'm not diamond. I'm plat 2. Thank God. Nope. I had to
Just
do them
kidding.
again because my MMR was diamond.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go 1-7 again. Bad luck. And get put into plat 4. And I mean, those games, whenever I say bad luck, I had like
Oh, I
literally
remember getting the live stream of those. I remember
so
hearing.
many just unwinnable
Yeah.
games. Like,
The Mortal Kombat pit was in full
yeah,
effect.
I mean, just couldn't win. So I was like, well, this is unfortunate. Oh well, I'll climb.
Yeah.
I started the season with something like a 23% win rate, and now I'm at 45. Like that's the amount of winning I've had to do to re-tip the scales because I started in such a huge fucking hole, right?
Yeah.
So not only did I drop to the bottom of plat, and then I say I got triple relegated, but that's because what used to be diamond got pushed up, right? So and
Hmm.
then like plat filled in that vacuum, so like high plat at the end of last season would be low diamond now,
Right.
right? And so on and so forth. So like as the ladder gets spaced out, it gets diluted. And granted, you drop the fifth division off each one, so there is some swing on that. But like the quality of my games went from being like diamond 3 to like gold 2.
It's a little different.
I mean it's a
It's a
lot
little
different,
different.
and that's one of the things that I literally have a weakness at is playing down. I'm
Hmm.
not good at it. I'm really not. Like it's very hard for me to not see something and act on it immediately because I have trained myself to do that.
Was that why you started trying to train yourself to play in the mid lane? You're
Yeah.
like, I gotta be in a solo lane where I'm not relying on someone who's just not gonna come with me.
I mean, that's a large part of it. And I was
Okay.
like, well, it'd be easier to carry if I am the
Largely
decider of my own
the
fate.
yeah, the
But the
one person
problem is,
responsible.
I'm not good enough at it to take it into ranked and be confident with that.
Okay.
And I think like a lot of that, like it's still easier for me to carry from the support role because I have so much background and experience doing that than it would be for me to like completely change and do something else.
You also can't scream "Give me my resets" in real time. I mean, I feel like that's like your power move. It's like
Yeah.
if you had a third summoner spell, that would be yours.
Well, and like I said, the plat thing, like the thing about plat is
Yeah.
I won't be getting those
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everybody quits the fight before they
Right.
go. And that's the other thing is like in Diamond, people are willing to say, this dude's ahead. I need to make sure that dude wins us this game.
Hmm.
So, like, okay, we have like a 9-1 Aurelia or something. I'm going to make sure Aurelia can keep doing the things that Aurelia is doing to win us this game.
Right.
You know, in Plat, it's
But
like,
that
oh
just
my
doesn't
God,
happen until you hit
I don't
diamond. Is what
want
you're
to
saying.
die. Like,
Yeah.
in Diamond, it's like, what? How can I die to save Aurelia? If I can do that, we win the fight.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, not to dog on Plat. These are good players. Like Plat players are actually pretty good at the game. They know a lot of stuff. Usually they can mechanically execute fairly well, if not very well. Um, there are some macro things, but generally they know roughly where to be. They know like ward placement for the most part. Um, I don't feel like I can get a whole lot of advantages there. They dodge skill shots. Like all the baseline level stuff is there. It's just like the finer points of aggression are gone. And and that's like I said, you have to shake off all that like buildup of bad habits that you've accumulated in like silver and gold and just shove that crap off and start over to be like somebody who's going to carry. You have to be able to put out that max damage and live on the razor's edge and trust your mechanics. So like, perfect
I have
example.
okay.
Perfect example. In the UNSW LOL Society videos that we referenced earlier, right?
Yep.
There is the video specifically where he talks about Blitzcrank. And he says, you cannot play against a Blitzcrank unless you commit to dodging a Blitz hook at some point.
Like baiting it
Like you
or
have to
running
be
at him and
able
then going
to
left or right.
stand minion waves, line up. You have to be able
Yeah.
to stand on the edge of that minion wave and be aware of where your blockers are and be able to commit to saying like, okay, if this is happening, like I'm gonna dodge or I'm gonna move because otherwise you're gonna back all the way off and concede the whole lane the whole time
Mhm.
because you're too scared of what would happen if you got hit. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, plat players actually have the mechanics to dodge a blitz hook, but they don't have the balls to understand that, like, I can put out all this damage, but I'm going to put myself at risk at some point, and I still have to dodge a blitz hook. Or I'm going to save my dash to dodge a blitz hook, or I'm going to save my this to dodge a blitz hook, and then put out a maximum amount of damage. You see what? Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
So anyway, you had a question.
I kind of lost it, but the general question I have then, um, sort of forming in my head was like surrounding what is the skill that you could develop that would let you play down?
For me,
Like what? So you've identified this hole in your game. Obviously, some people have slumps and they're able to get out of it. Are you aware of like a skill set that would allow you to, like, maybe you're not practice
Yeah.
at it, but
So
do you know of what to work on to
here's
be able
what,
to?
yeah, here's what I've done to kind of bridge the gap on that because I came up with a game plan, right? Like, I was like, how do I fix this? Okay, I have to do something that is so inherently obvious that you are in that nobody could fuck that up. So I played Blitz. And it's like anybody,
It's pretty
anyone
clear when a blitz hook
will
lands. All right,
realize that like
it's go time.
it's on. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that and it's not really go time. You bring the threat to you, so it's not like you don't have to go all in. You just have to
Right.
not
And that's what I
fuck
was gonna
off.
say is
Right,
that's
just keep shooting
that's
the
the
thing.
2 points. Is
Yeah.
one, I clearly declare the engagement. Fucking
Mhm.
flare goes up that says this fight is on, right? Number 2, I'm pulling them to me, which means I can get out. I don't have to be like Leona, where I go in and if you don't follow me, I'm going to take a beating for you, and you're not doing anything about it, right?
Mhm.
Or Thresh.
Or Thresh or whatever. I don't have to do that. I can just rip them to me, and then if it doesn't work out, I back up, right? And the damage factor is fairly high for just being a support, right? Like the base damages are good enough that for the most part you really hurt somebody. Plus ignite, plus whatever your ADC decides to do is usually a kill, so that makes it easy. In the mid game, people lose track of hooks and they stop trying to dodge them in team fights. So you can just rip people.
Like, okay.
And people generally have not yet acclimated to Blitz's range. It's slowly happening, but the range increase is still incredibly useful. So, like, people think they're safe and they still get ripped forward. And in Plat, people are at least smart enough to realize that if I rip you forward and we're still underneath the tower, you can kill them before they get to safety if they're on this side of the tower, right?
Mhm.
So, like, it's like a champion that I can give my team confidence with.
So
Does that
it's
make sense?
yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yep.
it's so, like, that's a hell of a lot different. Like, conventional wisdom is carry and support through damage, and that's fine. Like, there's definitely not a problem with that.
Zyra brand,
Zyra brand,
etc.
Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I've got pretty good stats on those champions this season. Like, I was brand for the good portion of the season. I did a lot of good work on Vel'Koz this season. I don't like Zyra, so no. But those others, okay, I don't have a problem with it. The thing is, like, the meta's kind of shifting away from it because it's all about hard engaged supports right now, and if you get caught as a Zyra brand, whatever, you're dead.
Poof.
And the other thing is building through damage is only recognized, like people only recognize it if you, well, they don't. They don't recognize it in plat. They just think, oh, you're a support. Like, I don't know how many times I've roamed mid and I've like flash forward stunned a guy and popped everything and like lit his ass up. And if the mid moved, we got a kill, but they didn't think I was going to do that amount of damage. And so then they try to move forward, but it's too late, and the guy gets away and whatever, and you're just.
This
like,
is getting back to your concept of more than just 95% damage for one target. You're talking about 2, 3, 4
yeah.
at any given time.
I mean, so many times I've been like, just give me one auto, and this whole fight turns on its head. Because that guy dies. And if that guy dies, he's not able to get off, like... Okay, how many times have you fought a fight where the AD carry survives and he's got like a bloodthirster and you had him at like this many hit points
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's like 3/4
Right.
and you're like, god damn it, now we
Or Pike. Just Pike doing Pike things.
Yeah, or Pike. And it's like, if you would just finish it, then this fight continues without that guy. Right?
This is a complete tangent, but it reminded me when you were like, just one auto, please, just give me anything. I've been having a real good time with Endeavorit, where he
Oh, really?
and I are playing. Yeah, it's just been stupendous. Not safe for work.
I guarantee they didn't meet on Tinder.
Well, let's play Alawi.
Endeavor's been sharing Tinder stories.
Yeah. Sure. I'll let him share those.
I'm not going to share them for him, but
no.
Jesus Christ.
He's a happy man right now. So
work on his game.
He's just been walking up and autoing once with Swain, and then I root with Jin, and the lane's over. So consistently. I don't know how.
So
I've
for
never
context,
played this
you guys
before.
are playing a Jin Swain bot.
Jin Swain bot lane, where he'll tag him with an auto attack. I'll hit him with the root. He'll yank him in with the Swain passive, and then hit them with the rest of his abilities because they're basically blitz hooked at that point. They've been chain CC'd for so long. But it all starts with just one auto, because that gives me the damage for the root, and then usually they die. It's been delightful.
So, like, let me ask you guys this, because I've been talking about where I'm at. And by the way, I dropped down. Like, I had these games where I had intentional feeder, 2 people that just rage quit AFK'd, and then at one game where my team got stomped so badly it didn't matter that bot lane was up like 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like this monster just walks down from top lane and erases us. And yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's like ah! He fucking Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh fuck it, I'm done. So like,
Guts from Berserk just waddles into your lane.
Yeah, like I literally after that loss streak, I got demoted to Plat 3 again, and I got so frustrated. Like literally, I got to the point where I'm like, fuck this. I cannot fucking believe the streak of fucking luck that this game would put me on, that I literally don't have a chance to win these games. Like, these games are not winnable. And then I listen to myself talk for a while, and I'm like, I need a break, but I don't have time to take one. So I'm gonna sleep on this. Like, I'm done for the evening. I'm gonna sleep on this. Gonna hit it later. Did that. Won a game. That felt great. Oh, by the way, when I demoted to Plat 3, I demoted like 25 LP. So it's that magic number where it's going to take you 2 games to get back to your series, no matter what. Right?
Yay.
Yeah, I know. So after I did that, I won like 5 games in a row to get back to Plat, whatever, Plat 2. That being said, like, your mental state is probably the #1 determinant of how your games are going to go. Because between now and November 19th, you are not going to gain enough skill to climb on skill.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't matter
that makes sense.
what you do, you're probably not going to gain enough skill to just jump ladder ranks.
Mm-hmm.
This is the point at which the only thing that is a true difference maker in your output is your mentality and is your mental acuity and strength. So
That feels very relevant to my experience this season, which was.
tell.
I mean, I foolishly did not take a break at all in the off season, and I came in and just went right into ranked, and it was so unpleasant, and I was so unhappy that I had your moment where you're just like, you know what, I got to take a break. I got to get my head straight. And when I came back, I was so uninterested and felt so bad to think about playing that I don't think I played ranked up until maybe a week ago. And I let myself just play the game casually because, like, I like the people. I like this community. I didn't want to be totally disconnected. But my life in general just got better when I just backed up and, like, focused on other things.
Unbelievably good advice.
Like, because it was spilling well outside of the game, where I was just grumpy all the time.
Yep.
You know, and that's not healthy. I started running. I started counting calories. You know, I started developing relationships like outside of the gaming world that have been very fulfilling for me. So, like,
I'm sorry. Whenever you said you started counting calories, I was thinking of 1 calorie.
Motherfucker, don't that 1 calorie makes a difference. I'm counting calories too. Fucking pennies make dollars, baby. That's one.
And it's so much easier when
that's
you don't
one barbecued chip you get to eat at midnight. You're like, oh fuck, this is it.
When you don't hate the thing that you're doing that's supposed to be recreational,
Yeah.
all these other things that are challenges get a lot easier. And I didn't keep an eye on that, you know, in the off season.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Like, one thing that has made it tremendously and epically more manageable is I went into the settings for League. And if you go into your, like, client, right? And you, like, scroll through... God, where is it?
Interface.
Yep. That's where it was like an
Because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Interface, and you go to chat. There
Uh-huh.
is a show all chat, show allied chat.
Uh-huh.
I turned both of those off.
Just donezo.
Both.
Yeah, that's probably a good solid piece of advice.
And it mutes you, and it also mutes them. Like, you can't type in it as long as those boxes are checked.
I'd be willing to bet that there are some folks that are wired in a way where it's beneficial to know, just to them, that they can't type something shitty, so they just don't think about it anymore.
See,
they don't hang on to it. You know?
I do that all the time, and then I play games in Discord with people in the community, and they're like, "Oh, he's talking shit." Usually, and I'm like, "Oh." Like, and only if we're stomping. I don't care, like, if they're talking shit about us getting stomped. I'm like, "Oh, I want to see the show. I want to see behind the curtain," and then I turn it back on, and then I forget to turn it off.
Okay.
Like, for me, I found that, like, the game, I wasn't even really a rager. Like, I rarely typed shit. Like, I typed shit if I thought I had something really funny, and then I'm like, yeah, this is good. Can't hold that back. You know, but, like, most of the shit I would type would be, like, classic support shit. Like, let's not type, guys. Let's focus on winning the game. Let's do Baron. Hooray!
Look how Pollyanna I am. You can be too.
Yeah, like, just sitting there, like, grabbing my teammates' dongs and just yanking
Hashtag reformed. Hashtag winnable. Let's go.
You know, dick sucking theory. Like, oh, you guys are great.
Yep.
You're so good. Oh, my God. Just don't explode like a child this game. Okay. You know, like, yeah, that's the shit I would type. And now, like, it would take so much mental energy to just try to prevent somebody who's literally going to troll you anyway from...
Would you find yourself physically exhausted after you stepped up from the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally,
that's
for sure.
That's the spot that I got to. I was, like, physically drained.
Yeah, like, mental translates into physical. Like, you feel bad.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, fuck that. I have found this game to be so much more peaceful. Like, it feels like a bot game, and it takes so much pressure off. Because the only pressure that I get in playing League is that which I am putting on myself.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the ping system gets across just about anything that you would need to communicate.
That's the thing. Is like I communicate with pings anyway. It's more efficient. And like if somebody wants to be a douche still, you'll see like ping 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 ping. Blitzcrank is alive.
Yeah.
Like okay.
Okay, I get it. Yeah,
Thanks,
you got me.
man. You're cool. Muting your pings, but even that is like far less abrasive than like anything that's said in chat. Like I've just gotten to the point where like, and people are like, "Dude, but
you're never gonna like leave a game feeling sad because your Kazakhs pinged you 48 times."
So it's like, okay, well, I mean, here's the thing: it could impact your mental state, but if mental state's like starts at 10 and dwindles to 0 or whatever, that's like a ±3 max. Leaving chat on, way more. So like I found that makes the game feel so much more peaceful, and like I said, you can still go on tilt. I'm not saying you can't. It just I don't feel like I have. It just feels like I'm playing the game again. Just playing the game.
I've also found that playing with a duo partner or in flex with a bunch of people that are like talking all the time, makes it a lot harder to sort of take that little mental nosedive, because you're with pals, right? So like, as long as you guys aren't being like a hurricane of negativity and just sort of feeding on complaining, which happens sometimes, but like for the most part, someone's gonna yank you out of it.
Yeah, and you know the other thing I would say is like, I've had every time I've told somebody to turn off chat, they're like, but your allies will say useful things in chat, and you're gonna miss that. And I'm like, you know what?
No.
In the time that I've had chat,
I don't know that I've seen a useful thing in chat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so seldom that it ever happens. But in the time that I've had chat turned off, and this is like kind of a long-running experiment, dude, it's not even close. Like the shit I miss that people say that's like good shit, not even close. Like the scales would be tipped so far in favor of just turn that shit off. Because it's like, literally, I'm imagining like a sewage pipe that comes out of a factory, and you're like, but what about the pure water that's in that pollutant labeled cesspool?
Could be a boat.
And I'm like, yeah, it's like, what if it was a boat? You know, but like, I'm just there going, yeah,
probably just
like,
plutonium.
There may be a drop or two of that in there, but I'm not filling up a water bottle.
Yeah.
You know, fuck. Just turn that shit off. So, like, that is one thing that I would unabashedly highly recommend, especially if you're the kind of dude that gets toxic and you like to type. You know, if you're one of those guys, definitely turn it off.
Yeah. If I care about something, if it feels like something that somebody is doing is in my way, that's like the first thing I want to do is just rip them a new one, and it's never productive.
And I mean, if you want to be an asshole and that's your like, but I want to tell shit people that they're shit, tell them in the post game lobby.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's really,
and ultimately it doesn't make me feel better either. I actually just feel a lot worse if I do it. You know,
it drags down your mental state. And again, what's the number one fucking thing that's going to make a difference in how you climb right now with like 16 days left in the season?
Keeping your mind right.
Bingo. Yeah. So, keep your mind fucking straight. Anyway, one more thing I did want to talk about before we kind of wrap everything up is apparently there's something called like Discord boosts that we need to figure out how to get our hands on.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know about this. I was just told by Clarkin today, who's like our Discord manager, that apparently if you have Discord Nitro, which is I guess a monthly subscription model thing,
Uh-huh.
that you're able to boost servers that you like have a membership to or you join or whatever.
Oh, it's like
And
your Amazon Prime free sub for
yes,
Twitch.
but for
Yeah,
Discord,
for Discord.
and it does things like it gives you bonus emotes, it gives you like a animated uh, logo for the server or whatever, right?
Yep.
And it just like it does a bunch of things to kind of make it cool. And then at some point you get like a customizable like discord.gg/Lola podcast or whatever, like a URL like that or whatever, right? And like our Discord's kind of like the heart of our community, so I would
Mhm.
like some of those things. And I think I am ready to like I'll just go nitro with just take some of the podcast money, go nitro, and then commit to my own Discord, whatever. Like, so we get some of these cool features for everybody to use in the Discord because
That'd be
that's
sweet.
that's kind of where our community lives, right? And it
Yep.
does things like it increases your like maximum file transfer size and all sorts of shit that it can do. So that's fucking cool. Like I'm down for that.
We can send all the puppy videos that we want.
Right. And like, have animated server icon. So, community. If this
So
is something
wait, you
that-
could have like a full-on animated fight with Astros in general. I'd love to see that.
yeah. And make it a like stream icon or whatever.
Now you'd have to find the most unbalanced like Discord feature and abuse it to get some sort of sense of superiority,
This
and then
is-
deny the state of that unbalance.
This is the patch that destroys Discord emojis forever.
That's right.
Anyway, worlds. Anyway, like again, I'm gonna ride that for a while. I was totally fucking right, 100%. That shit's broken, and it's still broken, and it's broken at Worlds. This is the patch that kills the collie my balls. Anyway, so
Well, we're gonna have to have him on for an addendum, so you guys can have that one out.
yeah, and I could just be like, scoreboard. Worlds play, scoreboard.
I'm sure he's got an argument. I'm sure he's got.
I'm sure
some
he's
points.
got them. But anyway, so yeah, guys, I would like to like even if I have to just pay for it with podcast money,
Yeah.
upgrade the Discord so you guys get to use that and get the benefits of that, and that I think would be really cool. So what we're gonna do is a contest. If any of you are icon animators, I am not, and I don't know how to do it. So I can make available the source material for the icon, like I can give it to you, and then if you animate it in a way that does something cool, like I don't care what you do, a lightning strike, it rotates, a moose walks up to it or something, and then it fades out, and it's all a podcast. I don't, any of these ideas are fucking cool, and I like that, right? So I want the community to like engage its creative juices, get them flowing, and come up with something fucking cool. Because if I do this, I'm basically like that's the first thing that I'm essentially paying for. And if we want to go any higher, I need community members to also pledge their like Discord Nitro points, if anybody has it, to the server so we can grow. Because there's like several tiers that you can hit, and they each come with additive advantages. And apparently every Discord thing gets like 2 boosts to give out a month or something. And if we get like 2, we get something. If we get like 10 or 15, and then the highest tier is like 30. And they each come with like scaling and rewards for the server. So considering that that's where like pretty much this whole group lives, let's do something for that. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
So, if you guys can come up with cool things, maybe, who knows, maybe it's time to just redo our fucking logo.
It's time.
I mean, maybe
I'm
that's
in
the
a-
way it goes. We do a...
I'm in a Magic Discord where they started animating a bunch of shit. Like I know guys got into making their own emotes, so
Let's see if you got
um,
anybody that wants to design a logo.
yeah.
Boy.
I'm gonna reach out, see if any pals would be interested in fiddling with that.
Yeah, man. So, like, if we get this logo designed, get a new logo, I don't care, man. You can do bonus points for a new logo, or animate the shit out of it, or both. Make a new logo and then animate the shit out of that.
Mhm.
But keep in mind, yeah, we're looking for something cool that we can do. That like, please don't make it out of corn. Like, I'll let that meme die right now. Let's like not do a corn.
And yet you just breathe the fresh breath of life
you
right
really are
back
asking
into it.
for
Motherfucker, what are some other memes
just
that we have
bales
on this
and
show?
bales.
It doesn't matter.
There are some other
God damn
memes.
it.
You no, baby. You open Pandora's fucking corny box, baby.
You're right.
Which sounded way more sexual than I wanted it. Actually, no, that's exactly as much sexuality as I wanted that phrase to impart on people.
It was like an endeavor to Twitter or fucking Tinder post.
Swiping on that corn box.
Hey, how's your corn box, girl?
Hey, the sweeter the corn, the sweeter the peach.
Is it true what they say about Nebraska corn?
God, Blake, how are you married? How did you figure
Tinder
that one
didn't
out?
exist in my day. That's how I got married.
If you make money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Speaking of, that was the last thing I was going to bring up. So,
Oh, fuck.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Speaking of
So-
opening up horrible Pandora's
Yeah.
boxes of
This-
shit that nobody wants to experience.
Yeah, so this last week, I got professionally recognized in court for being the host of the LOLA podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear this
That's
whole
super
story.
fun. So,
I've got my popcorn ready.
as you guys may know, I am a lawyer. People from the podcast have actually called my office to ask if I am really a lawyer. That's happened. And turns out I am. So I went to court the other day, and it's actually a guy who's like one of my old bosses, came up to me and he was like, "Who's wise Papa Smurf?"
Did he say it just like that?
Yeah, pretty much just like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why do you ask?" And he's like, "Well, one of my staff members did a Google search and
All right,
found
now
this."
he's turning into Colonel Sanders.
It pretty much was.
With his wee beady eyes.
his wee beady eyes. So he's like, "Hey, we found this at the office, and blah blah blah, and it looks a lot like you." And I'm like, "That's because it is. That's my podcast. What's a podcast?" And I'm like,
Now
"Oh,
he's
God."
drifting into Foghorn Leghorn here.
Well, I'll say.
It's more like the Colonel
what
Sanders
is a
professor
podcast?
from the Waterboy movie.
Yeah, it's like whenever you tie a dog to a very short stick and then beat it with a board and run away. Anyway, I was like, "Yeah, so this is what it is, blah 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 blah." And he's like, "That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So you talk about video games? That's what you do? Do you talk about video games?"
And several people.
Motherfucker's a
listened.
defense attorney, and that's the most ridiculous thing
Tens
he's
of
ever heard
people
of.
make
Yeah, that's
listen
what I'm
to
saying.
it.
Like, no, I know you've heard more ridiculous shit.
Motherfucker, like, you
I
know
got
somebody
emailed
put like
more
a dime
ridiculous-
bag up their orifice and then queefed it out in court. But no, talking about video games on a podcast is so ridiculous.
I had a
I'll
lady.
say that is ridiculous.
I had a lady try to juice an orange with her crotch to pass a piss test.
Oh boy.
And she didn't pass. It came back orange
And
juice.
that orange was high as fuck.
It came back orange juice. It's like inhuman sample.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"No, it's not inhuman. That's my urine. I did it. It is mine." And I'm like, the pH is like way off. Of what,
-3.
it had pulp
There's
in it.
battery
It
acid.
had pulp in it. It was a fucking juiced orange. And then, like the PO wrote, like, it had a fruity aroma.
I love that that's
They
written.
did everything but say it's fucking orange juice because they.
That
The
is-
question I want to know is, what was the pulp amount in this
That is
urine?
legal
Was it
record.
all
How
pulp?
much- you
No
really
pulp?
need to get your kidneys checked. It's not even filtering the pulp out of
It's
this.
not even pulp.
So it's like home style urine.
Wow. It took us
Some
an hour.
pulp.
But we got home style urine.
Some pulp in that home style urine. So anyway, yeah, I got recognized for being the host of a podcast in court. That
Okay.
was awesome.
What kind of
So I-
orange juice was this bitch drinking?
It wasn't.
Like, to think that it was she could pass. She must be drinking some nasty ass orange juice.
Well, no.
Somebody
she
needs to
just
get her
thought-
that good shit.
She just thought if it comes out, everybody will be like, something's fucked up about the test. That was her plan. Was just to be like, your test is fucked up. I peed in the cup. And then by the time they
Right.
give her another one, she could pass it, kind of a deal. It was her plan. But it comes back like inhuman sample. And so they're like, yeah, we're just going to give you a hair test.
Yep.
She's like, oh, I'll pee in a cup though. Nope.
If her hair comes back citrus, she might have an argument.
She comes back and like hands him a bag of oranges. This is my hair. It's home style. It's home style.
Really committing to the plan.
So anyway, I get recognized. Then the bailiff decides to like put on a video of the podcast.
Oh
at
my
court.
god.
And I was like,
Oh, that's interesting.
oh shit! I hope this
no.
is a good one, and not like
I feel like some things are said in this podcast that don't belong in court.
they didn't.
Nah,
go
they
very-
don't, well, they
Any
belong in the
pro-
back
any
halls.
Any professional setting, really.
Yeah, so they didn't go very deep.
Okay.
But the long and the short of it is, they're like, "Oh my God, it's him! Oh, I don't understand what he's talking about." Moving on, and I'm like, "Oh, good."
Yeah, but yeah,
Mr.
while
Bell, do you care to
Blake
put
is
down
sweating
the
actual buckets over the
shadow hat
court.
with the Nexus?
Well, the funny
Sure
thing
don't.
is,
Nope.
to justify it, I was like, like the podcast makes about a couple $100 a month on Patreon, so that's more than I make as the prosecutor for the city of Exeter.
Boom.
Like, so yeah, I think I'll keep talking about video games every month, Chief. And the guy's like, "You make that kind of money talking about video games?" It's like, oh,
Well,
I
I played a game of Pong once or twice in my day. I believe I could talk about that for a spell.
It's like, again,
Spell is
somehow
just
I've made him like a
that's the perfect
southern
word.
fucking like plantation owner.
Yeah.
Like, oh, to declare, you make a
No, he
ton
heard the end of
money?"
your story and gave you the DiCaprio.
Yeah, if they ever make a video game based on the hobby of whittling, we'll have a whole new set of bailiffs
Woodland
podcasting.
Man's podcast.
I was curious, but now you have my
And then-
attention.
Then the funny thing is, they're like, the advertiser has somebody advertising right now that they're Castfield's only podcast, and that's just not true. I was like, No, you're
Cease and
right.
desist.
"You're right, that son of a bitch." Like, I bet you I've been around a lot longer too. But anyway, no, they were all very impressed that we have like actually loyal fans that support the podcast, and so.
You
Yeah,
know
the
what,
funny
Blake?
thing
I'm
is-
very impressed.
Yeah, I didn't have the like. It kind of undercut my argument to be like, well, actually, people donate money, but it don't really make anything off the podcast. Like, this isn't a source of income. It's really more of a hobby, but it pays
Whatever.
for itself. So anyway, that's that. That happened. Fucking A. I just thought the limit of my personal life and this crossing lines would be the time that people called me at the office, which was really kind of funny. But like, nope, it kept going. So there you have it. Anyway,
Court tales with Blake are always pretty nice.
Well,
yeah.
the one sort of breach over that I loved was when I talked to you about it. This guy called my law office. I'm a lawyer too. Fuck y'all. Not you, Blake. The people that don't think I'm. Yeah, whatever.
I believe him for the record.
Yeah, this guy called me up. He's like, "Man, motherfucker." I guess I'm gonna have to use my real name. Fuck, but I will. Whatever. Only 5 people listening. He's like, I was in your office Friday. I gave you a fucking check for child support. I gave you the money. You didn't pay it. You didn't fucking pay it. I'm like,
By the way, you sound exactly like Danny McBride
you didn't
on the
give
Righteous
me
Gemstones.
you didn't give me any money, dude, and I don't do child support. Yes, I did. I put a check in your office, and I'm like, nope.
Just for the sake of
This
story,
never
you don't
happened.
wanna use
Like,
your
I
own
assure
name.
you. And he's like,
Hold on,
well,
hold on.
you my lawyer,
Wait,
right? Your
wait,
name.
Stop. Use the fake pen name, Dick Bixby.
Fine,
That's gonna
fine.
be
Good
your
point. It's
name.
like,
Or if we're gonna stay on theme, clown penis.
no, I'm
Yeah.
going with Dick Bixby. He's like, you Dick Bixby, right? I'm like, yep, Dick Bixby. It's the law office of Dick Bixby. And you from what the fuck was it?
It's
Shit,
Branson.
Branson. That's right. You from Branson, Missouri, aren't you? And I'm like, nope. Sure not.
No,
Hey,
no,
I'm from
sir.
Greensboro, North Carolina. And he's like, oh, well, shit. Yeah, you need to call that other Dick Bixby. So I tell Blake about this.
You call that other Dick
Because the guys from Missouri, I was like, have you ever heard this lawyer? And it turns out like we're all in a frat together in college.
Yeah, not only do I know him, but we went to the same frat at the same time. Like, we knew each other in college and have hung out once socially since. And that's why I knew he practiced in Branson, because like, he's the judge down there for something that I did. And I ran into him and I'm like, that judge looks awfully fucking familiar. And then I saw the name placard and I'm like, holy shit! Like, yeah, this is a workout.
I sent him a Facebook friends request and told him that story. He got a kick out of it.
I mean, how many Dick Bixbys are there, really?
I mean, there's only two. And only one of them's a decent attorney.
And only one of them exists.
Only one of them will actually take your child support cash, check down to the Buffalo Run Casino,
Buffalo
pay your goddamn child support.
Dude, fuck, man. Speaking of, now I don't know how much I said about the guy. So anyway, that guy from Buffalo Run that I got his child support lowered and he took it straight to the casino and he posted it on Facebook. More issues have arisen.
Shocking.
Yeah. So, anyway, oh Lord. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and end the podcast here.
We should thank Patreon supporters and encourage people. Look, I'm going to soapbox here. Motherfuckers, we set up a beautiful Discord and beautiful community, and people have come in and they've met people, and they have taken these people to their own little private islands. That's fine. Your little private island, that's fine. Sometimes little piglets, they move out. They form their own little slot pile, and that's fine too. Don't forget the teat that raised you, though. You know, some of y'all motherfuckers were sucking on hind teat at the LOLA podcast, and then you got too big for your britches and went off to your own thing. Come back home every once in a while. Come back and support the community that hooked you up. You ain't got to, and having your own Discords and shit like that. Don't forget about the community that raised you, because one day you're going to have a fight with one of those people, and you're going to come crawling back, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to be a dick. I'm a dick all the time, but, you know, I'm gonna lay down some extra sauce.
You're
so
really
thank you for Patreon.
You're really selling them.
Yeah, come back to the community. Come back. We need people to keep it live.
I gotta be honest, I kind of miss. I've been super busy, but like I kind of miss community nights.
You know, okay, so if somebody
I know it's difficult,
literally
but like
just
it was
step up,
fun.
then we would do those again. Like, maybe that's something I'll work out in the
What we need to do is a tournament. We just need to have tournaments and then build community games from that. That's my opinion.
People are literally still asking me all the fucking time, when are community games? What are we going to do community games?
Even so, I think the bigger issue was balancing. Like some personalities kind of clashed, and some people just didn't want to like not play with their pals. Which I get it.
You said by personality, we mean elos.
What? No. I
my
mean,
personality is plat 4.
Plat, yeah.
I guess we did just pound that into the ground. That is a personality type. It's like on the MBTI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. Like, this was the problem: is that people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna play with my buddy Jim, Dick Bixby," and that's the name for now. Anybody? That's like our John Doe.
Yeah, right. John Doe is Dick Bixby.
I'm gonna play with Dick Bixby. He's Diamond 4, and I'm Diamond 2, and we have another pal, Roger Bixby, who's Diamond 3, and we're just gonna play together.
Gonna join us as well.
Yeah, we're gonna Car Ramrod. We're gonna join together and be like, okay, I can't put enough bronze players on your team to balance this out.
Right.
And so one of you has to leave. And like, nope, we're not doing it. Well, I mean, then I don't know what to do with you. So I have, and you'd have like 11 people there. So even if I subbed one of them off, then the other 2 quit, and you're like, well, then we don't have enough for the game, so you have to put up with this shit.
So I think something that could be like, I know it's not 5v5, and but it might bring more people in if you just have a committed window where people are going to show up and play as 5-man squads. Because even those are super fun, where it's just 5 people that like each other or can at least stand each other and meme a little bit with each other, bullshitting for a couple games.
So I've tried to
Like,
do that.
okay.
And like we tried to do at one point, we had it to where each podcaster coached a team of 5 players, and that those 5 players would be of the same elo or similar. Like they're all. I got 5 silvers, and like Sam had 5 silvers, and Ernie had 5 silvers, and we were gonna do that. Like we were.
Is this like ancient times? Like
Uh-huh.
this is
Yeah, this happened a long time ago.
okay.
We were gonna do that. Like each of us had our little group. The problem is the group's personalities clashed and they played so much that it ended up causing 3 different discords to be born.
Oh, oh wow.
And so this group went and took off and did their own thing and whatever, and that was that.
Okay.
And like they splintered, and then like you can't. The problem with maintaining strict competitive groups is that it segments your players too much.
No, I don't. I don't mean that. Like, I just mean playing norms with people and futzing around. Like,
Dude,
like
that's the thing is like,
just 5 people going off and playing each in a room, and we've got a bazillion rooms.
oh yeah, and no, I agree with you. The whole reason we have so many rooms is to encourage people that if they just want to dick around with their friends, they can go into any of these rooms and do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. But like, I think a large part of like community games have been de-emphasized for a bunch of very bad reasons that combine to be like a meh, and I wish it hadn't. And it's kind of one of those things that like, first off, I juggle enough stuff that I can't commit with a family.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That I can't commit to running it myself. That's number
Yep.
one. Number 2, Derp, who did run it, quit because he got a new job and wasn't able to do it, and blah 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 blah. 3, the balancing was terrible for all the reasons that we have just said. And 4, I didn't care to make it a thing because I play with the community all the fucking time. Like if you just hang out in the Discord around 7 p.m., you'll probably find a game if you just jump into a room with people. Like that works in terms of, it's not like, who are you and why are you coming into my room? We don't care. Come on in. Like that's, come in, hang out for a while, chit chat, BS, whatever. We'll try to get you in a game. We're a pretty open group, you know. So it's like you don't need a amnesty period to play with us. You can just come play with us, and it's not like you're stepping on toes or, you know, whatever.
Especially now, like I mean, after the 19th, like most people are going to be
particularly
playing
after
norms
the
anyway.
19th. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing is digging
That's
into
true.
norms. So it's like we were so accessible that I didn't feel like community games were necessary. But the problem is, I'm an extrovert. It wouldn't be a thing for me to walk up to a group of people and be like, "Hey, what's going on? My name is Blake. How you guys doing?"
Right. It might be a little daunting for someone who's new to pop into a room of 4 that's like all shouting memes at each other.
Right. And so I hadn't really considered that, and I think
Like, hi, Mr. Simpson. Can I play in your game?
yeah. Hey, Ralph. So anyway, yeah, I hadn't really considered kind of that effect, and like, you know, a lot of people be like, "Oh, I'm not good enough to play." Well, the fuck, you're not. You know, get in here. It's not a big deal. So I mean, yeah, I didn't really anticipate that. And community games were just kind of like an open door, everyone's invited kind of thing, to where it's not like you're hanging out with the cool kids or anything like that. You're just showing up to an event. And that has a more broad appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
a little
Somebody
bit more
in the
approachable.
Twitch chat just recommended that they used to do a community games that was full random teams and full random champs. That might be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'd do something like that. I mean, I could do something like that.
Even it out a little bit.
But, I mean, keep in mind, somebody that's not me is going to have to step up to do that.
Let's make Endeavor do it.
He didn't do shit.
Exactly. You're bolstering my claims for his secession.
The problem is, if I had Astros do it, he would probably do it in his own fucking Discord. That
Oh,
bitch.
here comes the Burns section.
Dude, I actually talked to this. I put it as like, oh my god, I just found out about this awesome Discord Nitro thing that we could do. Holy shit! It gives you all this stuff. And does anybody have it? And Astro's like, yeah, I have it. I use it on my own Discord though. I'm like, you motherfucker! But so yeah, that was the start of my evening. And then I'm like, hey, let's record a podcast and not mention. No, I'm gonna mention that turd. I still can't believe that shit. Oh, I'm using my own podcast. Like, dude, no. And then I'm wondering, like, how many people are in his podcast that aren't in the LOLA podcast? Like, anyway.
These are questions for another podcast.
And this podcast has just ended at an hour and 15.
Boom.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Stopped. And the stream is still live.